You did everything the gurus told you to do. You ran the numbers, you cut the subscriptions, you stayed in on Friday nights, you watched that number in your high yield savings account climb from a few $100s to a full 3 to 6 months of living expenses. By all accounts of modern finance, you have arrived. You should be sleeping like a baby, but you aren't. You still feel a pang of guilt when you buy a latte. You still feel a spike of adrenaline when the check engine light flickers on. You still refresh your banking app 3 times a day as if the money might evaporate if you aren't watching it. That gap between doing it right and feeling okay is where most smart people give up. They assume they are just naturally anxious or bad with money. But the truth is much simpler. Your emergency fund is currently a pile of cash, but it isn't a system. And your brain doesn't trust piles, it trusts processes. To understand why you are still stressed, you have to understand your nervous system. Your brain has one primary job: prediction. An emergency fund, in its raw form, is a tool for survival, not safety. It answers the question: can I survive a catastrophe? Your brain says yes, and that's great. But your brain also asks 1,000 micro questions every day. Am I allowed to touch this? If I spend $1,000 on this repair, am I now unsafe? How long will it take to get that money back? When those questions go unanswered, your brain stays in high alert mode. In fact, for many, saving an emergency fund actually increases anxiety. Why? Because now you have something to lose. You have built a glass castle and now you're terrified of a stone. You have turned your safety into a fragile achievement that must be protected at all cost, rather than a resource meant to be used. There is a massive difference between having money safety and decision safety. Most financial advice focuses entirely on the money. They tell you the what and the how much, but they never give you the when or the what next. This leaves your money in a gray zone. The gray zone is where guilt lives. If you don't have a clear boundary of what constitutes an emergency, every unexpected expense feels like a failure. You aren't raiding your savings when the HVAC dies. You are utilizing a pre-funded asset. But until you define that, your brain treats every withdrawal like a wound. To move from tense wealth to calm certainty, you must attach a manual to your money. You need to move the plan out of your head and into literal protocol. Number one, define the red line. Anxiety thrives in ambiguity. You need to sit down when you are calm, not when you are staring at a flat tire, and define exactly what counts as an emergency. Green light: job loss, ER visits, your primary vehicle being undrivable, a leaking roof. These are system failures. Red light: a really good deal on a flight, a wedding gift you forgot to budget for, a new iPhone because yours is kind of slow. When you define the red line, you eliminate second guessing. When the emergency happens, you don't ask, should I? You simply look at the list and say, the criteria are met. Activate the fund. Number two, the permission to spend mantra. You must mentally and perhaps even physically label this money as expendable. An emergency fund is not an investment. Its return on investment isn't a percentage. It's the absence of panic. If you have $20,000 sitting there and you never touch it despite having high stress repeats, that money is actually costing you in mental health. You have to decide today that the fund exists to be spent. It is a shield, and the shields are meant to take hits. Number three, the rebuild rule. This is the part everyone misses. This is why you feel unsafe after spending. Your brain is worried about the unlimited duration of vulnerability. You need a then plan. Decide right now. If I use $2,000 for a medical bill, exactly how does it get replaced? I will pause my extra $500 per month mortgage payments until the fund is whole. I will cancel all dining out for 90 days. I will redirect my 401k contributions for 2 months. Once the rebuild rule is set, the what if stops. Your brain no longer sees a hole in your safety. It sees a scheduled maintenance cycle. We have all seen it. The person with $50,000 in savings who is a nervous wreck and a person with $5,000 who is totally chill. The difference isn't the math, it's the process. The person with $5,000 knows exactly when they will touch it and exactly how they will fix it. They aren't relying on hope, they are relying on a sequence: emergency, response, recovery. When that sequence is locked in, your nervous system finally receives the signal to stand down. You stop hovering over your banking app. You stop bracing for impact. You realize that safety isn't the absence of emergencies, it's the absence of a plan. Your emergency fund isn't there to make your bank account look good. It's there to make your life feel good. Add the instructions, activate the protocol, and finally let yourself breathe.